thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now.
What's up, guys, and welcome to FPL. Today I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to my team selection for Game Week 22, where we go over what I'm planning on doing going into this game week, the transfers that I'm planning to make, and hopefully give you an insight into my long-term planning for this FPL season, the second half of it, and hopefully get a rise in rank ourselves. So if you do enjoy this video, please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my FPL side. And also, big thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. OneFootball is an app where you can stay up to date with everything important to you in the footballing world. And that's not just inside the Premier League. This app lets you keep up to date with the whole world of football, transfers, score lines, absolutely everything. And you can customize it for yourself. I have it customized for the Premier League so I can stay up to date with what's going on there, but also to follow my team, AFC Wimbledon, the Crazy Gang, and see how they are doing in League One. So go and check out the top link in the description down below. Check out OneFootball app, and thank you to them for sponsoring this video. So we start off with how I did in Game Week 21, and unfortunately it wasn't as great as I was hoping, but I was expecting a slightly underwhelming performance after I've had a couple of really good game weeks. We got 46 points in total. Game week rank was over 4 million, but it did see us get an overall rank rise to 355,179th, but that's still in the top 500k, and it's a lot better off than I was at certain points in this season. As you can see, we didn't have many good performers. We had Trent Alexander-Arnold with a clean sheet. We have Mane, my captain, returning, which turned out to be the best captaincy choice I could have made out the ones I was seriously considering. And then Jack Grealish was the star man with 13 points. Unfortunately, he also got another goal disallowed because of VAR, though, in an offside that, in my eyes, was a different phase of play to when Grealish scored the goal. And I said then, and I'll say it now, I was annoyed then, even after he got an assist and a goal. After that, I would still be annoyed about him not getting those points, and it turned out to be right, because with an extra goal, this game week could have looked a little bit different. Areas right now that I'm struggling to be content or happy with in this side: Serge Aurier, defensively, Spurs just don't seem on it, and there seems to be a downturn in their form. The new manager bounce seems to have run out and doesn't seem like it's going to continue the good form that we saw the likes of Dele Alli, Serge Aurier, Lucas Moura, Harry Kane, those kind of players have. With the fixtures the way they are for Spurs as well, I'm kind of itching to get off of those assets. Rico is another one that I'm not too sure I want to keep hold of. Bournemouth not exactly filling me with that much confidence. Grealish I brought in for fixtures. Fixtures get a little bit more difficult now, and with McGinn and Heaton out. Danny Drinkwater has come in and joined Villa recently, but I just think McGinn was a very important player. Maybe he dropped off as an FPL asset, but I think McGinn was a serious cog in that Aston Villa attacking force. So I'm not unhappy with Grealish. I'm just not sure if I want to keep an Aston Villa player on my side. De Bruyne, still content with. Traore, if he's the fifth midfielder, I'm probably content with him. But anything more than that, he seems like a player that can have some absolutely great games and be very impactful, but he doesn't seem consistent. And then up front, Rashford, I need some goals from him soon. Jamie Vardy, I need him to play. And then Mbappe, I'm kind of looking elsewhere now. I went with Brighton as a bit of a punt, but I'm struggling to be confident enough to play him in the first team. So if he's going to keep going on the bench, I might as well pick someone cheaper. Someone like Greenwood, who does actually play and can score points. Maybe doesn't play the 90 minutes, but Greenwood would be slightly cheaper. On the bench, as you can see, we had Jamie Vardy with 0. He didn't play. He didn't even travel. Sidibe, 3 points, and Lundstrom with 1 point. Now, anyone would have been better than Rico with -1. But Sidibe is someone I'm interested in having more of a look at, and I think could be a very good asset for me going into the rest of this season as a very attacking player on that Everton side. And then Lundstrom, there's a lot of value tied up in him. I still quite like Sheffield United, and I think Lundstrom could get some returns soon. I just think maybe he wasn't as consistent as we were all hoping he would be. But come on, look at the value we got out of him. So we go on to my team for Game Week 22, and as you can see, there are some issues there with the fixtures, but we look like we're going to go for a 3-5-2 yet again. Hopefully Jamie Vardy does start. He has Southampton at home. Very hopeful for a good performance in this one. We've got Rashford against Norwich at home, who's got the captaincy armband, mainly because I just worry Vardy is going to play. If I hear Vardy's likely to play, he'll probably come in to be the captain for this game, and then Rashford can be vice. We've got De Bruyne, who is the vice-captain at the moment with Aston Villa away. I just feel like, especially with Heaton out now, defensively they've not been the best, so there could be goals there for Man City. We've got Trent and Mane against Tottenham away and Dele Alli against Liverpool at home. I still think Liverpool are just head and shoulders above the likes of Spurs, so it should be a win for Liverpool. But that is why Aurier isn't in the starting 11. I think Liverpool will score goals, and I just don't know how many Spurs will score. Grealish against Man City at home, not ideal, but we could just bench him if we really don't think they're going to do that well. But Grealish has been playing very good football and is the main part of that Aston Villa side. Traore against Newcastle at home. This is one of those fixtures that Wolves tend to not always perform as well as I'd like them to in, because Wolves are a great side, but sometimes they do really well against the bigger sides and then don't do as well against the smaller sides. But I'm hoping Traore can unlock that Newcastle defence. We've got Lundstram against West Ham at home. New manager bounce with David Moyes is a bit of a concern, but Lundstram comes in. Sheffield United have had a good defence most of the season. So Debe against Brighton Hove Albion at home, hopeful for some attacking returns. And then Pope against Chelsea away is a bit of concern, and I am looking potentially to change Pope at some point, because right now everyone is talking about tripling up on Liverpool, and while I am interested in it, I'm not sure this is the week with Tottenham away that I want to do it in. And I want to keep 2 transfers until the point where I do want to make that move, because if I do plan on bringing in Salah and having him alongside Mane, I'm going to need the transfer in the bank. So if I don't know what transfer to use, potentially I could change Pope, who I think there potentially is better options than now, to a different cheap goalkeeper. And just quickly covering my bench, we've got Mbappé against Everton away as the first sub, Rico against Watford at home as the second sub. Watford have looked decent on the attack recently with Nigel Pearson coming in. And then Aurier as actually the last sub. Yes, he might get an attacking return, but I just don't fancy Spurs' chances against Liverpool. Sorry, Sam from FPL family, but I think Liverpool probably will take this one. And then we move on to my plans going forward. And as you can see, the fixture list is something I keep a close eye on, the next 6 fixtures, and Liverpool have risen up the rankings now to the top of the pile with a double game week in game week 24. This is where a lot of people will triple up on Liverpool assets, and I'll probably do the same. Whether it's to go with Salah or potentially someone like Robertson is to be seen, but just because everyone else will be doing it, it kind of feels like a bit of a shield move to make sure I have 3 assets there as well. Could take the risk and only have 2, if I think there is someone in another fixture that over one fixture can do as well as a Liverpool player in 2, but that just doesn't sound right even when I say it. You've got Bournemouth up there as well, but I have no interest in Bournemouth. Man United means Rashford, and if you have anyone like Martial, although it seems like he's got an injury, any Man United assets potentially keep with the fixture list they've got coming up. Brighton is still up there. It's why I went with my pal, but I'm just really not feeling it right now. Palace still up there. You could look at the likes of Zaha, but he hasn't really shone. And then Jordan Ayew has done well for himself. Leicester City rising back up. So Jamie Vardy's and anyone that has your Madisons or your Tillmans or your Ben Chilwells and Ricardo Pereiras is looking up for you guys. Wolves also got a decent fixture list. Chelsea, Everton, Sheffield United and Villa. And then it starts to get a bit ropey for some sides. But I am also interested in some Watford players. So taking that into account, we do go and have a look at the shortlist of players that I am currently considering in my FPL side. So as you can see, we have a bunch of players under consideration, and also in the shortlist some players that I own just because of comparisons. Now, with Game Week 24, Salah is someone that a lot of people are bringing in, and as we can see, his underlying stats in some places actually beat Mane's. He's had more shots on goal than Mane, and he's also had more attempted assists and assists that result in a shot on target. However, Mane has been a bit more lethal with more shots inside the box, same amount of shots on target, even with less shots, and a lot more big chances with 6 big chances to Salah's 2. So this is why at the moment I'm sticking with Mane, but in Game Week 24 I could consider Salah. Unfortunately, to get someone like him in, I need to save cash somewhere. So looking at the likes of De Bruyne and Rashford in comparison, again, their underlying stats look good as well, which makes me consider, actually, is it worth bringing Salah in for this double game week, which is surprising for me to say, But De Bruyne has had 11 shots on goal and Rashford has had 11 shots on goal. Shots on target, Rashford's actually had more. Big chances, Rashford's also had more than Salah. And while De Bruyne is lower on shots on target and big chances, he's had more attempted assists and more assists resulting in a shot on target. Then we go to the cheaper players, and I'd have to drop considerably in price some not as expensive players as your De Bruynes and Rashfords to be able to consider Salah. Now, we've got Grealish there at the moment, who I am considering moving on, and Traore there as well. But the players I'm interested in, Danny Ings is on great form. Fixtures look like they're going to get tougher now. Watford look like they're in good form, especially at home. So Dini, Sarr and Deulofeu come onto the radar. We also have Doherty there just because he's getting forward a lot again in that Wolves side, a bit like he did last season. And we also have Calvert-Lewin with Carlo Ancelotti now at Everton. I have a feeling Calvert-Lewin could become an important part of that side, and he is 5.9 million, which is cheaper than Danny Ings especially. Now, if I went to someone like that from Rashford, then I would be able to get the money for a player like Mohamed Salah. But I'm just struggling really. The only player I would be happy dropping right now is probably that's expensive, Dele Alli. And Dele Alli would need to drop to a midfielder considerably cheaper than him for me to be able to afford Salah, or it would be him being upgraded to Salah. So that's the struggle I have with doubling up on Liverpool attack, and seems to make it easier for me to double up on Liverpool defence, which didn't work at the start of the season. Didn't work for me last year when I did it either. But just still seems the most sensible option for me to take. That being said, the transfer won't be that this game week, but that is the big conundrum that I'm currently facing. Right now, the transfer I'm going to make for this game week is very likely to be a simple one of getting in a player that I think is slightly better than one that I already own. And if we go back to my team, we can see that that would probably be the likes of Mapao being changed, Rico, Aurier being changed, and then also potentially we could be looking at changing the likes of Dele Alli and Jack Grealish. Otherwise, I'm quite happy with my side as it is. So that is my plans for Game Week 22 and moving forward. So if you have enjoyed this video, again, all your support is much appreciated. Hitting that like button is massively, massively helpful. Leave your comments down below whether you are going to triple up on Liverpool and if you're going with 2 in attack or 2 in defence. And also hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with the channel, and check out OneFootball, who have graciously sponsored this video. Thank you to them. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.